Welcome to another Texas Tech Spring Football Report. I'm Jarret Johnson. I'm joined by the mighty Joe Yeager. My Joe, we just started. I don't want to go overboard here. I mean, the Red Raiders have 3 practices into the Matt Wells era, but you and I have both been to at least one practice and a post-practice availability. What are your initial reactions from the Matt Wells era and spring football so far?
Well, I mean, this comes really from Alan Bowman as much as anything else, and it echoes what you might expect. I mean, I think at this point, it's all just kind of everybody's a little bit confused, everybody's a little bit in the dark. I mean, everything's a total kind of feeling out process, and so as we expected, it's just going to take some time for everybody to figure everything out. And I mean, I'm talking about schematically too, I mean, but Bowman was like, hey, listen, I don't even know how to really kind of characterize this offense at this point right now as opposed to last year and under Kingsbury and so forth, and what we ran back then. And he was like, ask me about it at the end of spring practice. Sure. Because then I can give you a good answer. Right now, so I think it's from that standpoint, probably all the players are just like, whoa, just, and honestly, when you're in that sort of a frame of mind, it's hard to put your best foot forward. I mean, nobody can. So I guess everybody's kind of doesn't hurt anybody else any more than anybody, but that's kind of the deal from that standpoint. And then Wells himself, I mean, we're not talking about just schematic switches. Maybe even more dramatic and radical is the difference between Matt Wells and Cliff Kingsbury. Just totally different. I mean, and I'm sure everybody picked up on that already. But once you are with him in person, with interviews and so forth, it becomes even more clear. These guys are just... Wells has got some spit and vinegar to him. Let's just put it like that.
He's feisty.
He is. He really is. And he's sort of confrontational and so forth. And from that standpoint, again, just so different from the gentleman Kingsbury.
Kingsbury would have tried to avoid any kind of conflict that I saw. You know what I mean? Right. And Wells almost searches it out. I mean, and don't take it personally. I think he even told me ask a better question after the availability Thursday. He said try again, and then he was like, good effort when I was trying to get some names out of him. I mean, he's been like that with previous interviews. Exclusive interview I had with him, I was actually kind of taken aback with how feisty he was. But honestly, reminds me of most football coaches I've covered. Yeah.
Well, he's a little bit. I haven't been. You've been around more of them than I have, and I haven't been around anybody who's quite like Wells, I don't think. I mean, Mike Leach. Okay. Now, Mike Leach was obviously a guy who was a kind of pretty wild dude, and he could occasionally he could kind of bark at people a little bit or roll his eyes or something like that. But there was something kind of I don't know, a little bit kind of easy go, kind of lovable about him, And with Wells, he's more of sandpaper and emery cloth and kerosene rubbed in the wounds, and because he's kind of, sort of an abrasive kind of a guy, to be perfectly honest. And so it's going to be interesting to see to deal with him and how the people of West Texas kind of cotton to his particular personality, it would be interesting to know, and I guess we're going to find this out over time, is how he deals with players. We've got an idea of how he deals with media, right? Dealing with players, is it going to be the same deal, or is he kind of different persona when it comes to dealing with his own guys?
Well, let's just say I've heard that it probably depends on the player, which I think is wise. I want to be clear that this isn't a criticism. This is just what we've noticed from him. This may be exactly what this team needs. Some of the best coaches I covered were very abrasive like that. I mean, you can go down the list. But think about Woody Hayes. Dude literally punched a guy on the sideline. You know what I mean? That's pretty abrasive. You know what I mean? Of course, that's going too far. That's abusive. It's going too far. I'm just saying, I just threw a name out there. I think most coaches are kind of that tough, hard scrabble, and that's good. Another thing I've noticed is he's definitely in practice. He lets his staff, which I believe is a very good staff, and he's known throughout his career as a head coach for hiring and allowing good coaches coach instead of, getting in their way. Exactly. Kingsbury had his hand. I'm not saying he didn't let his coach's coach, but I mean, he had his hand in several drills, you know what I mean? And he was like constantly out there coaching. Wells is definitely more the CEO. I mean, he talks with some of the people that are around that have come to practice, the important people that you need to talk to, like during practice some. I'm not saying that he's not involved, he is, but he's definitely more of the step back CEO, go holler at guys to hustle rather than just like you said, micromanaging every little thing. You know, he allows his staff to coach and is more of the step back approach, which is very different. We'll see if it's going to work or not. You know, bottom line is, until they win next fall or not, you know, people are going to be skeptical just because of the recent results. Sure. I tell you what, one thing that Wells did say after practice Thursday was that, look, he goes, we got to be better when we come back from spring break. The Tech's going to be off for a week from spring break. First off, he said it might be good for everyone because everything's been so, you know, crazy for all the coaches and all the players the past 3 months because of the transition. This week might be good to recharge some batteries. He said, but when they come back, they need to be better as far as, I think, a little less of the Chinese fire drill type thing, a little more, yeah, just everybody more on the same page. Absolutely. But he said the effort has been there. He said he wouldn't say that if it wasn't the case, and that the effort from the guys have been there. And I think what we're seeing from a lot of these guys is everybody, I think they feel like they have an opportunity to kind of maybe possibly move up the depth chart. You know, and then of course other guys are looking to retain their starting gigs. But I think especially on defense, there's some guys getting played that maybe hadn't played in recent years, and they're giving people an opportunity. So I think that has a lot of people's eyes open. And you know, I think on one hand, yeah, the terminology is crazy, all the drills are different, but then on the other hand, hey, everybody's like, I have a legit shot to possibly win some playing time, which that's a great motivator.
Yeah, not only that, it was kind of raised a few eyebrows when he said that, hey, wherever these guys want to play, we'll play them. You know, we'll let Xavier Martin, if he wants to take a shot at quarterback, we'll let him do that. And he said that that's the policy for everybody on the team. So that's a bit interesting and unusual as well. But, you know, I'm sure that the players have got to like that, and we'll see whether any of that stuff sticks or not. You know, some guys think that they can play this position or that, and you know, that's my natural spot, and it doesn't work out so well. And then before you know it, you find you're back where you were at the beginning. So, but I thought that was an interesting comment from Coach Wells.
Yeah, Jack Anderson knocks on the door. Coach, it's always been my dream to be running back. I'm ready. I can do it. You know, I don't think he's going to put him a running back the next day. But anyways, yeah, I think it was a good first week. Hopefully nobody gets in trouble in spring break. I can understand, you know, you go crazy, you go have fun. Some of these guys, you know, we did our things in spring break too when we were young. So, but hopefully everybody stays safe, gets back to campus healthy and happy and all that, and free, and then they can get back at it, and we'll start seeing these scrimmages. I think we'll have more material really to go over. But Joe, great stuff from you as always. Thank y'all for watching, and until next time.